What's up, Buttercups? It's me, Amy Young, coming at you with a Friday freestyle. Because it's been a day over here, y'all. A day of ups and downs and surprises and mysteries and awakenings, and life is just nuts. Isn't it though? Life is a lot of things. One of them is nuts. Before I dig into the story that I'm going to be sharing with all of you, I just want to invite you to stay tuned till the end of this video, because I have this cool thing that I want to tell you about. I have an announcement to make and I don't want you to miss it. So just watch all the way through, or like scrub to the end. This is your life. You're a grown up. You can do what you want. But I'm just telling you, there's something happening. Back to the task at hand. So I was surprised today to learn that there's going to be some construction happening in the apartment next door. And I learned that because it suddenly sounded like somebody was driving a fucking dump truck through my wall right there at around like 9 a.m. I was like, well, that sounds awful. Is somebody using a jackhammer next door? That's going to be problematic because I have videos to film and I have clients to talk to and I can't hear myself think right now. So I was like really annoyed, and then thought, well, you know, maybe there's a solution that's available to me. What can I do? What can I do? And I thought, well, it's a really beautiful day out. Maybe I can go outside and take my calls there. Like, would that be a viable option? Interesting. Okay, so there's a park kind of near my house, and there's a really cute playground and some benches and stuff. So I was like, you know, that'd probably be a decent place for me to take my calls. Let's see how it goes. So I wander outside. I get myself a little iced tea infusion from S. Bizzle, Starbucks. And I plop myself down on a park bench near the playground and stuff, just to kind of see like, what's the environment like? And it was a really effing gorgeous day. And I started just kind of watching the little kiddos in the playground, which is something I really like to do, which sounds really weird, but I like watching little kids because little kids are so effing precious and innocent, and in my view, exceptionally wise. Right? Because society and life hasn't mucked them up yet in the way that you and I have been mucked up by life and society and well-intentioned people who sometimes give us not great information. Little kids are untainted in that respect. Like, they are still under the impression that that life is here for their pleasure and enjoyment, and that they are just little balls of love, and that they can just go around and be who they are and be delightful and accepted and just their cute selves, and people will be relatively kind to them, right? Like, that's usually what it's like when you're like a little kid. Like, all of these chillins were probably under the age of like 5, I would say, 5 and under. And I was just kind of watching how they bop around with each other, and kids are so good at like just making friends and making stuff up and playing pretend, and they just entertain themselves. And they just get their needs met. Like, if they need something, they're just like, I need a juice. I need to go to the bathroom. I need you to stop doing that. I need to play with that. Like, they're so, in my mind, they're so self-absorbed in a pretty cute, adorable way. Although we do have to train them out of it, right? Like, we all have to get trained out of that if we want to be functional members of society. Remember that for later. So as I'm sitting there, I noticed this one little girl. She's so effing cute. And she has like a little brown bob, which was coincidentally the kind of haircut that I had when I was real little, and I had like little bangs. And she was playing kind of off to the side by herself, and she saw me sitting on the bench, and she kind of like looked at me, and before I know it, she's just like walking over, not like a great distance, but she comes over to me and she just goes, hello. And I was like, hi. And she says, do you see my dress? And I was like, yeah, girl, I see your dress. You look fly AF. I didn't say that part, but I was like, yeah, my gosh, it's lovely. And she was like, it is pink and white. And it was. It was a pink and white striped dress. It had a little flouncy A-line sort of situation. And she's just being her sweet, adorable, cute self to me. And so just like, I mean, I don't know what was going on in her mind, but I imagine she was probably like, oh, look, a grown lady. I know what grown-ups are like. Grown-ups are so serious and bored. She probably would love it if I came over and blessed her with my adorable presence. I think that's how little kids think a lot of the time, unconsciously, in their little goldfish baby brains. They're like, let me go be my little ball of love self to this person. I'm so cute. Who wouldn't like me? I think most of us, 99% of humans, come into the world that way, right? I'm so effing delightful. Who wouldn't love me? Look at me. Look at my dress. Do you see my dress? Do you see how cute I am? Yes, I do. I'm liking it. I'm digging it. And we're just having a little, you know, chat time back and forth. Nothing too deep. And I hear her mom call to her. Mom says, Annabelle. Of course, her name is Annabelle. Is there anything more perfect? Annabelle, don't bother that lady. Come back over here. And I, you know, instinctively just like shout back. I was like, oh, she's not bothering me. Don't worry about it. And her mom gives me a look like, oh, sorry. And I see this moment in this sweet little cherub angel baby where she kind of looks, she like stops and she looks at me and then she looks at her mom and I see her making this kind of like connection, like, oh, am I bothering her? She probably has just learned what bother means. Someone probably just explained to her, like, this is what it is when you're bothering somebody. And bothering people is bad, right? Like, don't bother anybody. Who wants to be a bother? And what I witnessed in that moment, right, is the switch over from I am a delightful, cute little cherub angel who's only here to bless the world with my presence to, uh-oh, maybe I'm bothering somebody. Like, it really, I don't think it had occurred to her until her mom said that could potentially be an issue. And her mom is, again, well-meaning in saying that, right? Because she wants her little daughter to know, like, you can't just go around talking to whoever you want to talk to all the time. And if you want to be a functional member of society, there are these weird rules that we have about who we connect with and who we don't. And you definitely don't want to be bothering people. It's very, very annoying and bad. But it broke my heart a little bit because this is a lesson that I think we all learned at some point from well-meaning grown-ups and intelligent adults who are doing their best to acclimate us to this physical world, right? When we are in that like pure, innocent, delightful love bug phase of life, our only understanding of ourselves is that we are completely good and sweet and well-intentioned, and we could never be a bother to anybody. You know, it's like that, it's like the Buddy the Elf sort of mentality that I've referenced before. Like, it's like, the world is just amazing and I'm here in the world and let's just all be here in the world together. And then we start adopting this shit that tells us otherwise. And that shit is, again, it's like necessary and fine, but it can go overboard. Right? Where it's like, little Annabelle, here's enough. You're a bother, you might be bothering people, don't bother people. Little Annabelle's probably gonna start clamming up. She's probably gonna start looking at her dress in the mirror and going, is this a good dress? Will other people like this dress? I like it, I don't know, will other people like it? She's gonna lose that innocence. She's gonna lose that, willingness to just like put herself out there and be her delightful, cute self, because she doesn't want to be a bother and she doesn't want to disturb anybody and she doesn't want to stand out at all. It's probably better if she just goes and stays in the playground, plays by herself with the other kids. We do this a lot in our lives, you know, where we have lost touch with that part of ourselves who is just in wonder with the world and who's delighted by our own presence, and this part of us that knows we are so sweet and good and who couldn't possibly love us. We get trained away from that and we get trained out of it to this place where we truly believe we are a bother, or that we have to hide, or we just don't want to put ourselves out there at all. And we put ourselves down. This dress, oh my God, this old thing. Like, we actually say stuff like that versus standing in our adorable greatness and saying, yeah, do you see my dress? Do you see how good I look? Because supposedly that's like bad being that way. These rules exist for a reason. But I personally would really love if we could all get out of our own way with this a little bit more and maybe be a little bit more Annabelle-like, you know, pre-mom interjecting her opinion that she might be bothering me. I would love if we could get more in touch with that innocent nature that we all have of truly believing that we're like so sweet and kind and good and worthy of attention and adoration, and that we just want to be out there in the world blessing other people with our presence. Because like, if everybody adopted that, right? If everybody was like, I have stuff to offer, I have stuff to bring to the table, I have a light that I want to shine into the world would be an incredibly different place. We'd all be so much more accepting and warm and open with one another. We wouldn't be so judgmental and annoyed and who do you think you are to shine your light in the world? If we were all given permission to shine, if we gave ourselves permission to shine, it makes me really sad when I think about it, because we've been so conditioned to hide and to hold ourselves back and to forget our own lovability and to not celebrate ourselves, that it's like it's really created a bit of a mess for all of us, because life is very, very short, you know, and we can't live our whole lives hiding. And especially to return to that nature, that like inherent nature that we all have within us to show up that way, I think is like the lesson of a lifetime. I want to be moving more and more always in that direction, right? Of green lighting myself and believing that I'm good and I'm worthy and I'm a delight and I have stuff to offer. Hey, look at my dress. There's something about that is, I think, necessary. And I really challenge you to look at where you might be labeling yourself a bother when really you are a delightful, adorable blessing. Speaking of challenges, God, that was the perfect segue. Couldn't have planned it better. I'm running a 5-day challenge, you guys. I'm running a 5-day self-love challenge. And this 5-day self-love challenge, actually, it ties in so beautifully with this story because it's all about unlearning the crappy, bad habits that we have that keep us from loving ourselves, accepting ourselves, approving of ourselves, which little Annabelle is so good at, and most of us sort of suck at. So I said, why not design a 5-day challenge for all of you in my online community where I can offer you some tools and tips and exercises. It kicks off on Monday, July 23rd. The link to join is down in the description box. I would really love to have you be a part of it. It's gonna be so much effing fun. So if that sounds like something you could get into, just click the link, put your email in, you'll get all the goodies. That's everything. So yeah, I hope that you're having a really great day, night, weekend, wherever you are. I so appreciate you and see you as nothing but a blessing and a delight. Even if you don't see yourself that way, that's okay. I have those days too. And let's keep showing up that way for each other. Okay, can we do that? Let's make a pact that we're gonna do that. You and me, all of us together. And until next time,